And also guys, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. And also don't forget to press this little bell notification to press all to get all my notifications on my video. Anyway, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Yo, what's good guys? It's your boy Limited Talks here. And today we're talking more about some DC stuff. And actually, some big news recently came out saying that DC Films cancels the New Gods film, which was supposed to be mostly made by Ava DuVernay, and mostly James Wan's The Trench as well was supposed to be a Aquaman spinoff, which really sucked because honestly I would have loved to see. I would love to see The Trench because it was supposed to be a horror movie. I would love to see what James Wan did, and honestly I would just love to see it. And Variety reports today that DC Films has canceled two future films in the DC Cinematic Universe: New Gods, a movie about Jack Kirby's Fourth World characters, directed by Ava DuVernay, and The Trench, an Aquaman spinoff from director James Wan. Okay, so it's James Wan. Okay. I can't say I'm too broken up about The Trench, which would have followed a group of fish monsters glimpsed briefly in 2018's Aquaman. But I think like The Trench would have been interesting to see because it was gonna be a spin-off, right? Because it wouldn't have been like, because again it's not be connected to the would it be connected to DCEU? Probably not, maybe. But what sucked is the fact of like that a whole movie gets canceled, and also the fact is that Aquaman did really well, and I guess The Trench, if I get The Trench, would not have done as well in theaters if it was just a whole movie by DC. New Gods looked intriguing though. The New Gods lived on the twin planets of the New Genesis and Apocalypse, the latter of which is ruled by the tyrannical Darkseid, who featured in the recently released Zack Snyder's Justice League. With that movie a hit on HBO Max, you figured DC might want to lean into it. Also, DuVernay is a talented director, but it looks like the studio is looking to move on instead. I think the reason why they canceled the New Gods is because they saw in Zack Snyder's Justice League, we saw what Darkseid looked like. We saw what the New Gods look like. So they said like, okay, we're gonna can this, delete Zack Snyder's cut, like Zack Snyder's universe, even though pretty much all the characters are pretty much connected somehow to Zack Snyder's Justice League. All these characters know who each other are. Like, sure, in 1984, she didn't know. It was just like this was before she met, Superman and Batman, but she would have met them later on. Aquaman met. He knows who Batman and Superman are. He know Cyborg, even though they can't want to can Cyborg. Like every single one of these characters you're trying to do and try to build, they're gonna know who Ben Affleck and Henry Cavill are. They're gonna know who the heck they are. It's the fact that they just don't want Zack Snyder's vision to be in their movies anymore. Even the fact that they really should keep Zack Snyder a part of the universe, because again, it was a huge success, and you want your movie to be really, really good. So you gotta keep with it of saying like, this is what I want to see. This is what the fans want to see. This is how audience will receive it. Audience will love it, and you make a ton of money. Because it's about DuVernay's tweet about saying about like how she's disappointed about that it got canceled or whatever. In fact, you could argue the writing has been on the wall for a while, as DC has been retiring the remnants of the universe Zack Snyder set up with 2013's Man of Steel, while Pattinson will play a new Batman in The Batman. See, like, here's the thing: how the heck are you gonna write like Robert Pattinson into this new world? But then, like, because again, you want to get rid of Zack Snyder, because then we get Man of Steel, Batman vs Superman. Well, I guess Batman vs Superman, and then you got Justice League. And then you're going to have like a ton of these other characters. Like Robert Pattinson, don't get me wrong, I just don't see Robert Pattinson as a Batman. He's just not bulky enough, in my opinion, to become a Batman. Like all the other Batmans are super, super bulky, but Robert Pattinson's like going to be like the only one that's going to be really, really, really skinny. So, I don't know. We heard of a new Superman project in the works sans Henry Cavill, which we understand that that it's gonna be like a black Superman, which it has happened before in the comics. I'm not saying like that it would be kind of cool to see, yeah, but I just want to see Henry Cavill as well in this universe as well. So I don't know. There's a third Wonder Woman movie on the way with Gal Gadot, but the studio has made it clear that it will be the third and final movie in a trilogy. Ezra Miller will be back in a solo Flash movie starring Ezra Miller, complete with Ben Affleck for one more movie as Batman, but most likely to reset the whole DCEU and try something else. See, here's my thing, like, what's the third one Wonder Woman gonna be in, like, the 90s, the 2000s? Because, like, I think the problem with this is, they really can't, they have, the goals do not align with anything else, because pretty much is, Wonder Woman has met Henry Cavill and Ben Affleck. She has met those two characters. Now this third movie is a complete and utter reset, and being a reboot, in my opinion, of these characters. So like now unless like Henry Cavill doesn't exist, or like the Flash movie has to, because the Flash movie will pretty much erase everything. And then what? And then what are you gonna lead into? You're gonna lead into this world universe of like when nothing makes sense, but it has to fit in. Because my opinion is, it's not even Zack Snyder's fault that it happened. I think Justice League, not Justice League, Warner Brothers wants to rush in to compete with Marvel. That's what they want to do. They want to compete with Marvel because they knew for a fact that they could not compete with it at this point in time. Because again, yeah, they saw really late. Right, they're talking like 3 years later, because no, let's say 5 years later, because of Man of Steel, and then came out, and then Iron Man came out, and then like a ton of movies, and then you came out Man of Steel, which I think was a pretty damn good movie, but then they wanted to rush in to kind of say, okay, Batman vs Superman dies, that Superman was completely wasted, and then when Justice League came around, you had to completely get rid of all the characters, and you want to get rid of Zack Snyder as fast as possible. What was the way you can get it? When his daughter died. May she rest in peace. And it's just like, it's crazy the fact that they are willing to go this far to pretty much get rid of a universe that they know for a fact that Zack Snyder built. But they want to get rid of him because they don't want his vision. His vision doesn't align with their vision, pretty much, which is, I don't know what their vision is going to be. Overall, it looks like the team is moving forward ahead with plans to make a superhero universe a little bit more decentralized, like that the one over at Marvel, where everything is presided over by Mastermind Kevin Feige. Given how hard Warner Bros. Failed when they tried to ape Marvel style with the passive movies, I can't say it's a bad idea. We want different voices in the mix. Warner Bros. Studio CEO Ann Sarnoff said recently, for certain fans they want singular voices. They may be disappointed, but we will ask them to be patient and see what we got in store, because perhaps the newer voices in the mix will have just as compelling stories to tell. But they try to copy Marvel style. It just doesn't work like that, because DC, in my opinion, DC is a lot more dark of a universe than Marvel is. Like, don't get me wrong, there's some darker stories in Marvel, but DC should, in my opinion, DC should, in my opinion, be more darker. Like, not completely like full dark, like go on complete injustice, but have a more darker take on these characters, because every single one of these characters should be a little bit darker than what they are, because again, DC is not a happy place at all times. Marvel, yeah, it's a little bit brighter in some senses, but there's some really dark stories that can be told at Marvel. But with DC hasn't realized the fact that they are not in a place to really put all the chips on the table and pretty much say, please listen to us and please listen to these voices, because these voices are not going to work. Because again, they want to do like more diverse and inclusive stories, but they got rid of Ava DuVernay, who's a black female character, and they pretty much want to start Ray Fisher because they just don't want Ray Fisher in their universe anymore. So, you're kind of doing two things. You kind of maybe moving one step forward and multiple steps back, in my opinion, for these movies. So, you kind of have to tell. Next DC movie, James Gunn's The Suicide Squad, which itself is something of a reboot of a panned 2016 film, comes out August 6, 2021. So yeah, this movie got canned, and now it's now because it wants to pivot away from what DC from what the DC what Zack Snyder's vision was. So I don't know what they're gonna be doing. And I have no idea what DC's next plans are, because the next plans do not make any sense. And honestly I don't think that DC has any idea where the plans gonna be going later on the line. Anyway, we're going to the next article, which is going by We Got This Covered. Now take everything they said with a grain of salt, because We Got This Covered is a very, very, very not trustworthy article about sources, because there are a lot of times where they are very, very much not correct. Sometimes they're right, sometimes they're very, very wrong. DC reportedly doesn't want the SnyderVerse because it's too dark. Yes. Now I know for a lot of people, it's like the DC Zack Snyder's vision is he wanted to go dark. That's what he wanted to do. He wanted to go probably, Injustice type of dark. But I would want to have seen it, because again, it's Zack Snyder's vision. If you hide him on for multiple movies, I want to see what his movies were going to be like, because just because Zack Snyder's vision was dark does not mean would it have been bad. No, of course not. Personally, I don't have any ties to any of the characters in DCEU. I don't have any ties to Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Flash. I don't have any ties with these people. I would want to see what your vision looks like. I want to see what your vision entailed whenever you were making your stories. The differences between the light-hearted adventures of the Marvel Cinematic Universe and the more straight-faced nature of the DCEU became something of a running joke among fans of both comic book companies, to the extent that Deadpool 2 saw Ryan Reynolds, Wade Wilson, aka John, as Crossbones Cable if he came from the DC Cinematic Universe because it was so dark. Exactly, because I understand that. Yeah, it was a running joke that DC was really, really dark, but one of what the Disney was the more brighter side of the two comic book franchises. But what Marvel did was they build up their characters one movie at a time, right? You saw immediately you saw Iron Man, then you saw after that you saw Incredible Hulk, then Iron Man 2, and then Thor, and then you had another Iron Man. You have the Avengers, who kind of met up, because again, you don't really need a Black Widow and Hawkeye movie. You really didn't need that, but you got to see these characters, see some of these characters first before you got to see any other characters. You go like a Captain America. You got to see 4 out of 4 to 6 Avengers, pretty much. On some movies, while DC, they did one movie and they made up to that. Oh, we gotta do Batman vs Superman. We gotta do it again. I would say this: it is not even Zack Snyder's fault that this doesn't work. It was Warner Bros.' fault for trying to jump in too fast, or trying to make it because again, what they did was whenever Zack Snyder left the project, they wanted to bring in someone who was a little bit had more comedy. Again, with the person who did the first Avengers 1 movie. They brought him in to make it more of a lighter tone, which it didn't really work in some cases. I mean, some cases there was some jokes that did hit, but and sometimes you can tell this was just a rush project. You can tell that DC did not care. Just please get it out. Please get it out there as fast as possible so we can probably make money. They made money, but they lost a lot on fan base because of this. They did not do a good enough job in producing a movie that they for sure know that people want to see. Again, these are big characters, but they don't want. But again, these characters were not presentable enough. I know who Aquaman was. I saw Wonder Woman, but why was someone that Wonder Woman was just here? She was back in World War One. Was it World War One, World War Two? It was in one of the World Wars, and then all of a sudden she's just here. Wonder Woman's here. We don't know about the Flash. We don't know about we don't know Cyborg. We don't know about Aquaman until he had his own movie. So you gotta understand, this is not again, whose fault is that? I opinion is all on DC and their heads, because they don't know what they're doing. They really are running out of ideas and running out of this fast, because they canceled 2 movies. So I mean, I don't know what they're doing. Plenty of franchises have tried to piggyback off the success of the MCU and hope that a decent-sized budget, a semi-recognizable property, and plenty of quips would be enough to reap similar rewards. It hasn't exactly turned out that way for most of them, but the DCU continues at pace, having survived its early teething issues to become a viable alternative to Kevin Feige's all-conquering outfit. Man of Steel, Batman vs Superman, Dawn of Justice, and Zack Snyder's Justice League all fit into the filmmaker's standard MO of taking themselves very seriously, with little room for such things as humor or levity. According to tips of Mikey Sutton, though that's not the direction Warner Bros. Want to head in, with the high hopes firmly of the belief that the SnyderVerse is too dark and they want to try to keep things more fun moving forward. But again, it's like Justice League DC is not particularly a very bright, company anyway. Like, in my opinion, DC should have been like it should have been darker, like more darker takes on superhero, because it's kind of like The Boys, right? Like, it should be more like The Boys, while Marvel could have been like the more, it's a little bit more for kids, but like it still has some very serious stories. So I don't understand like where the high ups are coming from. I understand that maybe the high ups thought themselves like, okay, we want to make our stories very, very light, have more fun to them. Yeah, you can do that, but do that with other movies. Like, if Zack Snyder's vision was to be kind of more darker, more serious, let him do that. While the other movies could have been a little more fun. They had more charismatic. Like, Aquaman was a more fun movie than like Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice. It was more fun to watch Aquaman be a badass than it was watching, Batman and Superman fighting, because, we never saw why Batman, like, we don't saw why Batman did it, but we understand just for what reason, because he just kind of came in and just beat the crap out of Superman because he wanted to. So, I mean, it's just kind of like Warner Bros. Is not really in that spot to really make a lot of decisions. Again, they cannot fail. That's the whole thing they have to realize, is they cannot have a misfire, have a misstep, or anything, or they're pretty much going to be going down the toilet. Pretty much is, AT&T can pretty much say at any time, like, listen, we don't need you guys. We can get rid of you guys at any point in time. If you don't bring in the money, then we don't care. Sutton cites Wonder Woman 1984, Shazam, and Birds of Prey as the desired tone. It's kind of when that Birds of Prey is here, it's a rated R film. Like, how the heck is it supposed to be for more fun? Like, little girls cannot go see Birds of Prey because it was a rated R film. Okay, Shazam, I understand, because it was more fun, it was more like lighthearted, stuff like that. But Wonder Woman 1984, like, the villains were just not great. I mean, again, like, Cheetah, I did not like Wonder Woman 1984. I really did not. Like, those were just not good films, because, like, if you think about, like, 1984, pretty much it was a dumb movie from start to finish. Trevor was not the fish out of water in this sense. Birds of Prey, I mean, they made rated R and wasn't even that good of a rated R film, but it just felt lackluster, I would say. But they're all technically part of the SnyderVerse already. Exactly, like, again, Wonder Woman already met Batman and Superman. Shazam has already met Superman. He already met Henry Cavill Superman. I don't know, that could be someone else, but I think that technically was met Henry Cavill Superman. Birds of Prey, Harley Quinn has already met Batman. So every single one of these characters has already met Batman or Superman. Every single one of them has. Which is crazy, the fact that they want to get rid of the universe, because you pretty much have to erase all the continuity of your movies, so that way it kind of fits into the timeline. I don't know how it's going to fit, but it will fit. Patty Jenkins' Amazonian sequel takes place before Diana Prince takes over Batman and Superman and Dawn of Justice. Well, yeah, again, Wonder Woman has to be in the modern day timeline for it to even work. Like, she has to have no Batman and Superman is. So I mean, it's gonna be like, she's just gonna have to kind of forget that Batman and Superman ever exists. Ben Affleck and Henry Cavill existed, and the fact that these, like, Bob Pattinson and like the other like Superman are gonna come in and be like, I totally know who these guys are. So it doesn't make any sense. Billy Batson is a huge fan of Henry Cavill's Kryptonian, which, because remember, like, think about this, like, the kid who was with Billy Batson, like the one who was in a wheelchair, he knows he has Batman's Batarang. So I mean, like, the person are gonna have to delete that. Everyone's kind of get rid of that. So again, continuity is gonna make no sense in the DCEU. Make no damn sense. I have no idea. And Harley Quinn came face to face with Ben Affleck's Dark Knight and Suicide Squad. She has, and so has, Jared Leto's Joker. So I mean, like, who's gonna be the Joker now? Like, is it gonna be Joaquin Phoenix? I don't know. I mean, like, who's gonna be the Joker? Is a canonical mess, sure, but one thing that probably won't be resolved anytime soon if the constant discourse surrounding the future of the SnyderVerse is anything to go by. Yeah, see, man, DC, what are you doing right now? I don't even know what DC's doing. What are the plans right now? I mean, what type of films are even coming out? What films are coming out from the DCEU? I actually have no idea. I guess something. I guess we do know that Wonder Woman's getting a sequel, but that's kind of all we know right now. And that Batman and Superman are getting reboots. But man, DC, you're really messing up right now, messing up big. Well, guys, that's all I have for you guys today. As always, I hope you enjoyed. Remember to leave a like and subscribe down below. And as always, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.